Perfect. So, hi guys. Hope you're all doing well this fine evening. You may be aware, but we are officially halfway through the year. Officially, it's the 1st of July today. 6 months of 2026 is down, and we've got 6 months remaining, which I think is always a really interesting point in the year. I think that summer has its benefits, compared to winter. But I also think summer can be a fairly hard time of year to stay consistent. Typically kids are off school, more holidays booked, more social events. People want to go outside and do more stuff typically. So it can be I would say maybe a bit of a sticky point in the year as well. So I think that it is a good point in the year to do this talk to recalibrate really and reset and make sure that we're all really clear on our goals. What I am going to be doing this week with all of you guys that are working with me is I'm going to be messaging you and setting some new goals with you, whether it's today or whether it's through our check-in on Friday. We're going to be talking goals for the month, and I always think it's really important for us to have a mini goal to chase each month. We don't only want to be focusing on the long-term goal, but we want to set some small, actionable things along the way so that our motivation stays up. But if you are feeling a little bit unmotivated right now, it's really normal to feel this way. And I've called this first side, let's be honest, because now that we're halfway through the year, people often feel one of three emotions overall. It could be, actually, you know what, I'm doing really well. Could be, I've lost a bit of momentum compared to January. Or it might be, I'm nowhere near where I thought I was going to be. Whichever one you are, this call is going to be for you and this call is going to be really helpful for you, I'm hoping. So, the first thing we need to get clear is you need to stop judging January you. January, I always say this to you guys, like winter feels very different to summer. Summer feels very different to winter. I want you to think back to you in January. Some of you guys would have been in the program, some of you guys will have not. For some of you, you guys are super new and this is your first week. But wherever you were at that point, I want you to think back to January. How did you imagine that today, 1st of July 2026, was going to look like for you? Maybe you thought, oh, I would be below 100 kilos right now. I would never have missed a workout because I was feeling really locked in, or I'd be totally confident. I'd feel a million times more confident than what I felt in January. Maybe that has happened for you in some ways, and that's epic. But also, maybe you're not feeling like that right now. Maybe things feel a bit different. We never know what life is gonna throw at us. And I know that a lot of you guys have gone through really challenging things this year, myself included. I did not know that I was going to lose my dad this year. There are so many things that come along and surprise us. So maybe for you that hasn't happened. That doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean you failed, and that doesn't mean that you're done for now and that 2026 is over. It absolutely doesn't. And I want to flip your mindset on that more than anything. The biggest mistake that I think people make right now. So, 6 months into the year, like I said, summer can be a bit of a sticky part of the year because people want to go out and do more things. It's more social, there's more things on, holidays, all this sort of stuff. Most people kind of reach July or the end of June and think, I'm not where I wanted to be in January, so I've wasted the year, or this year is going to be a write-off. I know it feels a bit weird to say that now because we've got 6 whole months, but you would be surprised how many people think, oh, back in January when it was the whole New Year, New Me crew, I really wanted to make this stick. So, like, we're at July, I've ballsed it up. I might as well just like not bother trying until next year. I've left it too late. A lot of these mindsets keep people really stuck. And you guys will know this, that most of this game is a mind game. It is a mental battle. It is a mind game. The physical side of things, we know what to do. We know that we're logging our food. We know that we're doing workouts. We know that we're getting in steps and doing this program. The biggest thing that's often holding us back is what's going up here, what is going on up here, sorry, and what is happening in our minds. Our minds are often our biggest enemies, and we are often the things that are getting in our own way. None of these things that I've said here are true. It's very easy to fall into this trap and fall into this mindset, but you still have half a year left. Half a year, 6 months. 6 months is a lot of time for you guys to completely change your life. Are you going to be at end point, exactly where you want to be in terms of self-development, inside and out? No, of course you're not. You're also never going to feel like that. I've been pretty consistent with my health and fitness for like nearly 8 years at this point, and I still don't feel like I'm done. I've still got loads of things externally and internally that I want to change and I want to improve. But 6 months is a hell of a lot of time to make really big significant change to your health, to your lifestyle, to your confidence, to your happiness. There is a lot of time left this year. What I want to do before we talk about the rest of this year is I want you guys to really reflect and look how far you have already come. Like I said, some of you guys have been in this program since January or longer. Some of you guys have not. You've been here for a couple of weeks, or maybe this is like your first couple of days. But wherever you are, I really want you to think about how far you've already come. Before thinking about what we've got left, I want you to look at what you've already achieved. And the reason why I always put Wednesday wins into the group, the reason why we always ask on your check-in form is what's been a win from this week, or besides your weight, what's been different in your day-to-day life this week? Because as humans, we move the goalpost all the time, and it is very, very easy to skim over our wins and to not take stock of the process. I want you guys to be as aware of the wins that you're learning in the process of becoming and not just chasing the outcome at the end. So I really want you to look back on this year and think about what you've already achieved. Maybe you have already lost weight. Maybe it's not your whole weight that you want to lose, of course not, but maybe you've lost a lot of weight already. Maybe you've built more confidence in the gym. Maybe you enjoy exercise more than you have in years. Maybe you're stronger. Maybe your relationship to food has improved. You start believing in yourself and backing yourself more. You've become more consistent. All of these things are amazing wins that, in my opinion, matter far more than what a number on the scale says. It's not about the scale weight, it is about what the scale weight going down is going to do for you. And these are the wins you really want to focus on. Maybe if you're someone watching this call and you've just joined us, maybe the thing that you've achieved this year is getting a coach, getting a coach and joining a program that's going to help you. Maybe that's the really big win of this year. And that is a big win. It is a big thing to join a program and commit to working with a coach. I remember all the feelings of nerves and anxiety I had when I hired my first coach. Um, it's a really brave step and a really big thing to take. And that is something that you don't want to gloss over if you are someone that joined us this year too. We are so quick to move goalposts and we are so easy to think, I'm not where I want to be, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you guys to make sure that you are celebrating your wins along this process. I don't just send Wednesday wins in just for the sake of it. There is a very particular reason why I do that. I want you guys to constantly be thinking about things that you're doing well, about things that are going well, really looking at this program from a positive lens as much as you can, because the process of becoming and the journey that you go on is the thing that really changes things for you rather than getting the outcome. If we just chase an outcome and we don't enjoy the process along the way, or we don't consciously think about the wins and the process of becoming along the way, when you achieve the goal, it's really empty. It's a really empty feeling. You guys might have heard about people that have like chased for Olympic medals, for example, and all they've thought about is that end goal. Like, I want the medal, I want the gold, I want the gold. They get the gold, and actually, it's a really empty feeling. I think it's called like Olympic syndrome or something like that. And that's because people have realized, oh my God, I have only cared about the gold medal the whole way. And I forgot to enjoy the process and I forgot to be present in the process of becoming. So for you guys, yes, today we're going to talk about what you want to achieve for the rest of this year, but I want you guys to keep finding those wins, whether they're the scales or not to do with the scales. I really want you to get conscious and start to try and enjoy the process and the journey as much as possible, because that's also how it sticks long term. One thing I want to make really clear as well is progress isn't always measured in kilos. I know that almost all of you guys right now are on a weight loss journey. Not all of you, but most of you. You are on a weight loss journey. You want to see the scale go down. You want to lose weight. I know that's why you're here, of course, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not the only thing that you should be seeing as a metric of success. And I really want everyone to know that on this call as well. Your success might be more energy, better sleep, less emotional eating, better habits, cooking more at home, walking more, saying yes to more opportunities, being braver and going for more opportunities, and maybe taking risks and opportunities that you wouldn't have taken before. Maybe it's just feeling healthier. These things matter just as much. And I would argue even more than a scale. Like I said a couple of slides ago, it's not about the scales, it's about what the weight going down does for you and what it brings as a byproduct. That stuff is the stuff that really matters. So I want to do a little reflection exercise with you. I've put 3 minutes here, but to be honest, I might make it two. I don't think we're going to need three. But I want you guys to take a couple of minutes. I'm going to put a timer on my phone. I want you to write down three things that you are really proud of for this year. Don't give me that you can't think of anything or that there's nothing good about this year. There is always something good. And even in our darkest times, even when things feel really shit, there are always wins. There are always good things to think of. So I want you to write down three things that you're proud of for this year, no matter how small. I then want you to write one thing that you have done really consistently since January that you should be really proud of, that you are really proud of. I want you guys to do that now, listening live, wherever you are. And if you're listening back as well, I'd like you to do this. Do it on your phone, do it on a bit of paper, whatever it is. But I'm going to put a timer on my phone for 2 minutes. Started it. I would love you guys to do this now and have a bit of a reflect. Sorry. I'm going to keep quiet and just let you guys do it. So I want you to write it down just wherever you are. They can be things that aren't to do with this process. 30 seconds gone, by the way. They can be things that are not necessarily to do with this program, with this process, but I would like you to find at least one that is to do with this process as well. It might be something like I've got a massive promotion. Maybe you got that promotion because since being on this program, you had the confidence to push for something like that, perhaps. It could be something really small as well, really tiny. It could be, you know what, I've done more than 5,000 steps pretty much most days this year. That's a big win. Once you've written down things you're proud of, write down one thing that you think you've done really consistently since January that you are really proud of. Cool, you've got about 40 seconds left. Cool, you've got 15 seconds left and then we're moving on. Get something down. Okay, cool. That's 2 minutes, guys. Good job for doing that. And like I said, whether you're here live or if you're listening back, I would like you to do it. That would be great. Cool. So that's a bit of a reflection. What I want you to think about now is what do you think actually might be holding you back right now? There is always something. And like I said at the start of the call, usually it's something going on up here. Normally it's something in our mind or our mindset that is. But I want you to think about what's been your biggest obstacle this year so far. Whatever it is that you feel like maybe you've been struggling with, what's holding you back? Is it being consistent? Is it planning or organization? Is it emotional eating? Is it your confidence or your self-belief? Is it lack of time? Is it fear of failure? That's a big one. Sometimes we think it's something, but actually what it is that we are worried about failing or we're scared to fail. Is it letting one bad day roll into a bad week? Is it that all or nothing thinking that you think might be holding you back? That's also a really common thing. I want you guys to do this and think about this because you can't solve a problem if you don't acknowledge it. You've got to acknowledge it's there and you've got to have that self-reflection and that self-awareness. So I want you guys to really think about that and also just jot that down. One thing I want you to really think about for the rest of this year as well is stop waiting for motivation. Like, stop waiting for it. Motivation is the most unhelpful thing to rely on. It is so fickle. You know how it is. You're going to feel motivated sometimes. Like, you might come away from this call feeling really motivated. I hope you do. But you might come away from this call feeling really fired up. But that feeling will die down. It's just how we're wired. Maybe you've noticed the excitement from January has faded. I know it has for me. You guys know a lot has happened this year. I've lost my dad this year. So the the excitement about my fitness goals that I maybe felt in January, to be honest, has probably subsided and has changed dramatically, and that's okay. But the motivation that you felt in January was never meant to carry you. It was never meant to carry you through, and it is never meant to carry you. I know that you see so much stuff online that's like, don't be motivated, focus on discipline. I think that's not necessarily the most helpful advice because just telling someone to be more disciplined is like, okay, great, thanks. That's not something tangible that I can actually focus on. But what is actually going to carry you is setting good habits, being willing to stick to a routine, having a routine that actually works for you and works with your life and your schedule, and your systems. Having a system that you can rely on, not only on the good weeks, but on the bad weeks and on the tough weeks too. I need to make this so clear. The people who succeed, the people that you've seen, whether it's inpatient fitness or not, anyone that you've seen that has lost a lot of weight and had great success, they are not the most motivated people. They feel the same feelings that you feel right now. They feel fed up some days. They feel like, oh God, I've got to track my food again. I've got to go out and get my steps in again. I've got to go to the gym again. Everyone feels these feelings. I feel it. Adam feels it. I was even, I dragged myself in the gym this morning. We had to train early this morning, and I woke up and I was not motivated at all. It happens all the time. But the people who are consistent aren't the most motivated, but they are willing to be consistent. They make mistakes, they slip up, they're definitely not perfect, but they are the people that know motivation can't be relied on. And they show up day after day, even though they don't feel motivated. The more you do that, the more you practice that, the more you commit to, you know what, I'm really not feeling motivated, but I'm going to drag myself in that gym, or I'm going to drag myself in that kitchen and do a bit of meal prep. The more you do that, the easier it gets. It's like strengthening a muscle in the gym. It's just strengthening a muscle in your mind. You become more resilient and more adaptable and better at bouncing back from these emotions if you practice it. But you've got to be willing to practice it. I always say to you guys the 10-minute rule, right? This helps me so much whenever I'm not feeling it. And I used it this morning. My alarm went off at 6 and I was like, ugh, not feeling it. Can't be asked to go in. I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to take pressure off. I'm just going to do 10 minutes. I'm just going to go in, I'll warm up, I'll start, I'll do 10 minutes. And it was also cardio. And I hate cardio. I love lifting, but cardio is just my nemesis. But I do it because I know it's good for me. I went in today, I went in this morning with Adam. I started, I warmed up, I did 10 minutes. Lo and behold, after that 10-minute threshold, I was in it, I was fine. I pushed those feelings to the side, I finished the whole thing. Take that 10-minute rule and apply it, whether it's to do with the gym or if it's to do with whatever it is that you don't necessarily enjoy doing in this process. Not enjoying something or not feeling motivated isn't a valid reason to not get it done. You just need to work through that mindset and practice at taking action regardless. I want you to set some goals that excite you again. Maybe the original goal that you had doesn't inspire you anymore, and that's okay. So let's create some goals that do. I want you to think bigger than the scales. With you guys, I will set you goals that are scale related because at the end of the day, you guys are here because you want to lose weight, of course. But that's not the only thing we should be focusing on. And what I want to do in this call is help you guys to set some goals that have nothing to do with the scales. So some examples could be this month, I want to complete a workout, every workout that I've got. I want to be able to deadlift my body weight. 10,000 steps consistently, feeling confident on my holiday whenever I'm going away, improving your relationship with food, getting below 100 kilos, that could be a win, running a 5K, feel comfortable in family photos, like all this stuff, these goals should make you feel excited. They shouldn't make you feel unnecessarily pressured. Pressure's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we need a little bit of pressure to get over, kick up the arse and do what we need to do. But you shouldn't be feeling ridiculously pressured striving for a goal that you don't want to hit. They should make you feel a little bit excited and a little bit scared. So I want to talk about outcome goals versus process goals. I've talked to you guys today about trying to enjoy and be present and fall in love with the process of becoming rather than just pushing for the outcome. Most people only focus on outcome goals. So I want to lose 20 kilos, I want to lose 50 kilos, I want to build X amount of muscle. These goals are great and they're valid. And like I said, I will set these goals with you guys because that's what you're here for. But also, we want to be setting process goals. The process goal is something that says what it does on the tin and does what it says on the tin, sorry, is about the process. So it could be, I'm going to make sure that I go to the gym 3 times every week as much as I can. I'm going to make a really conscious effort to hit my protein target every week. I'm going to meal prep every Sunday, no excuses, even if it's 20 minutes. If you control the process, lo and behold, the outcome that you want, i.e., losing weight, building muscle, whatever it might be, the outcome follows. So, what I want you guys to do is not only have the outcome goal, I want you to have a couple of process goals too. So, what I want you to do now, another little exercise, is write your next 30-day plan. This should say 30 days, not 90 days. But by the end of the next 30 days, so by the end of July, I want you guys to think about what do you want to achieve? What's the goal? Give me an outcome goal, i.e., I want to have dropped 2 kilos, and then give me a process goal. Okay, I would like to make sure that I hit the gym 3 times a week as much as I can, or I would like to make sure I hit a minimum of 7K steps a day, something to do with the process. I then want you to think about how you want to feel. How do you want to feel by the end of the month? And what do you want to become by the end of the month? That dream version of you. Once you've done that, choose 3 habits that you're going to commit to every week. So thinking about those process goals, simple, specific, and realistic. So 3 habits you might think of is I'm going to make sure that I drink a minimum of 2 liters now that it's summer and it's a lot hotter. I'm going to make sure that once everything's done, I'm in bed by 10 or 10:30, and I am going to meal prep every Sunday. 3 habits that you're going to commit to every week that are sustainable, that are realistic, that you can fit into your week almost every week. So that's going to be your next 30-day plan. And what I want to talk about here is just raising your standards as well. The shiny object syndrome, I've talked about this before. It's a very real thing. I've noticed it not only in like being a fitness coach, but observing other fitness coaches too, like clients and other coaches. The shiny object syndrome is a very real thing. And what I mean by that is you have all the tools, you've been told what to follow, you're like, this is the process, this is what you do. You do it for a bit, but then you go on social media and boom, hit with an advert about the latest app or fitness product or wellness product that promises insane results. It means you're going to lose 10 kg in 4 weeks or whatever. That stuff is being popped out at you all the time. I know this. You're being advertised and marketed to. As a result, because we're doing the thing and because we know the thing that we're doing, i.e., losing a minimum of 10 kilos for pretty much all of you here, that goal takes time. It takes a lot of repetition and it can be boring at points. There's no denying it. It can be boring, it can be a little bit dull. As a result, when you're seeing these other things that are like, come and do this really new, quick, easy, exciting thing that gives you really fast results, that's the shiny object syndrome. You think, oh, well, maybe there's a way that I could not do this and speed this up. I want you guys to override that way of thinking. You don't need a new plan. You have the plan. You have the plan now that all of you guys are here in this program. Sometimes what we need, or I'd say most cases, what people don't need is a new plan or a new thing or a new product. We need higher standards for ourselves. And that's what I really want you to think about this month. Ask yourself, okay, what would the healthiest version of me do this week? The dream version of you that not only looks how you want to look, but behaves and thinks and feels in the way that you would dream of. What would that dream version of you do in this moment? Would they jump ship and go away from the plan and jump onto the latest thing? Or would they think, no, actually, what I need to do is the method I've been given and the stuff that I've been given and the process I've been given? That's not to say like just do what I do and follow it blindly and never ask questions. Absolutely not. That's not what I mean. However, just be wary of that. The shiny object syndrome can be very real and it can take over. And like I said, what we're doing here is the only way that things work, truly. If you not only want to lose weight, but keep it off forever. But it can be a bit repetitive, it can be a bit boring, and I'm fully aware of that. Like I'm with you. I have some days where I'm like, oh God, doing this again. But the boring basics repeated over time, again and again and again, is the only thing that works and is the thing that you need to do. So the answer isn't always, should I change my macros? Should I change what meals I'm using? Should I change my workout plan completely? That is often not the answer. The answer is that we just need to keep doing what we're doing and raise the standards of that and keep consistent with it. I'm not saying you need to be bored and you need to be miserable the entire time you're through this process. No, this process can be very fun and can be enjoyable. But what I mean in those times where inevitably things might feel a bit dull or a bit difficult or a bit boring, don't get attracted to that shiny object syndrome. Just remember that the basics repeated over time is what works. And always think back to that dream version of you. Okay, in this moment at this crossroads that I'm at, what would this dream version of me do? It's really helpful to get clarity sometimes. I want you to think about you guys on New Year's Eve 2026, just about to go into 2027, which is 6 months away. Imagine it's New Year's Eve. Imagine that after this call, you've stayed consistent, not perfect, consistent. You kept showing up, you stopped restarting, you stuck to the plan. how do you think you'd feel? How do you think you'd look? How do you think you would speak to yourself? And how do you think you would speak to others? And how would you treat others as well? That person, that dream version of you that you really want to be inside and out, that person is going to be built by what you do after this call. And I want you guys to really think of that. The next 6 months will pass anyway. The time will pass anyway. 6 months from now, you're either going to say, I am so glad and proud of myself that I kept going, or you're going to say, I wish I'd really started back in July. I really wish I'd taken it seriously in July, and I really wish I'd given it my all. Regardless of what you do, that time is going to pass. So you might as well use it, and you might as well give this your all and use it to your full advantage. So, your commitment, I want you guys to finish this sentence wherever you are right now to yourself. For the next 6 months, I commit to. And I would like you to answer that, whatever that is for you. The final message, your story is not written yet. It's not done. Just because we're in summer and we're halfway through the year, you are not done. You have 6 whole months to make some great progress. The first half of your year does not have to determine your second half of the year. You don't need a new year. You don't need a new Monday. You don't need a new month. You need to stick to the plan and you need to keep going. And that is your motto for the rest of this year and especially for July. The final thing I want you guys to do now for everyone that's here live, I would like you to type one word into the Zoom chat to describe how you want to feel by the end of the year. Do you want to feel strong? Do you want to feel fit? Do you want to feel healthy? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel fearless? Whatever it might be. I would love you guys that are here live to chuck it into the Zoom chat right now so that I can take a look. Love it. Proud. That's really great, Rihanna. I love that. Proud. Yeah, that's really nice as well, Amon. That is a big one. That pride will come from you giving this your all and giving it your best shot. Not being perfect. No one is perfect, but I want it to come from you guys making commitments to yourselves and following through on those promises that you've made. I'd love to see a couple more, guys. So whoever's here on this call live, I'd like to see you send in a word. It can be anything. It's personal to you. Happy. That's lovely. That is a big one and that is really important. A couple more, if we can get them in, that would be good. Um, but yeah, pride and self-confidence. People are always like, how do you become more confident? Like, how do you do it? It is built on making commitments and following through on the commitments that you make. Yes, you're going to slip up. Yes, you're going to make mistakes. I expect you guys to do that, and that's okay. But it's about, as much as you can, following through on the commitments that you've made to yourself. That's how you really build pride and self-confidence and happiness. So it's been really good to see so many of you guys on the call live. I'm going to stop sharing now and stop pressing record. For those of you that haven't put that into the group yet, if you want to send it to me one-to-one or send it into the group chat, that would be great. But I hope this has been really helpful for you all. It's really good to have this reset and at the start of a month to really take stock and really think about how we can continue making progress over the rest of this year. It's really helpful to do that. So if you guys have maybe felt a bit down, I know the heat wave last week was really hard. Like we were all feeling it, right? It was bloody tough. If you guys are maybe feeling a bit like that right now, I'm hoping that this call has given you a boost and helped you to like recalibrate in a way and attack the rest of this year with a good intensity. Like I said, you guys don't have to be perfect, but you need to keep showing up and keep sticking to the plan. And I promise you, if you do that, 6 months' time, New Year's Eve 2026, you're going to look back and be like, wow, I cannot believe how much progress I've made. So well done, guys. It's been lovely to have so many of you here.